The Salt Lake Temple, the largest house of worship ever constructed by the Mormon Church, is a globally recognized landmark. Its capstone laying in 1892 was a monumental event, witnessed by tens of thousands of people. The grandeur and scale of the temple must have left many in the crowd wondering about the future of this magnificent structure. Its towering presence, set against a backdrop of Salt Lake City, signified more than just an architectural feat. It was a symbol of faith and perseverance for the Mormon community. The temple had taken 40 years to build, reflecting the dedication and commitment of its builders and the broader church community. For many, the completion of the temple marked the end of a long journey, both physically and spiritually, in establishing a place of worship and community in the heart of Salt Lake City. Workers split open this huge stone from Salt Lake City and spotted a treasure trove hidden inside. Over a century later, the Salt Lake Temple found itself amidst significant restoration and repair work. It was during this process that the huge capstone and the golden statue, known as the Angel Moroni, which it supported, were carefully removed from their lofty perch atop the temple. This act revealed a surprising discovery. Hidden within the stone sphere were a collection of historic artifacts, effectively transforming the capstone into a time capsule. These items, concealed for so long, offered a tangible connection to the past, holding secrets and stories from the era when the temple was completed. The hidden secrets within the capstone, sealed away at the end of the 19th century, presented a unique window into the past. For months, experts meticulously worked to uncover these objects, each piece revealing a bit more about the history and culture of Salt Lake City during that time. These artifacts, untouched and unseen for 128 years, held the potential to offer insights into the daily life, beliefs, and practices of the people who lived and worked in the city during a pivotal period in its history. The discovery was not just a treasure trove of physical items, but a rich repository of historical and cultural significance. The origin of these artifacts and their placement within the stone sphere high above the city sparked curiosity and intrigue. Their story is deeply intertwined with the history of the Salt Lake Temple itself and the broader narrative of the Mormon community that settled in the area. The temple, a central figure in the city's skyline, was not just a place of worship, but also a symbol of the religious group's journey, struggles, and ultimate establishment in the 1840s. The artifacts, therefore, were more than just historical objects. They were a testament to the enduring legacy and resilience of a community that sought to carve out a place of their own. Today, Salt Lake City is home to a significant population of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly known as Mormons. Remarkably, they constitute about half of the city's population. This notable demographic traces its roots back to the 1840s, when Brigham Young, a key figure in Mormon history, led his followers to the area in search of a place to practice their faith freely. The establishment of Salt Lake City as a major center for the Mormon Church was a culmination of a long and often challenging journey, marked by a quest for religious freedom and a desire to build a community based on shared beliefs and values. The origins of the Mormon religion are closely tied to the life and visions of Joseph Smith. Born in Vermont in 1805 and later moving to New York, Smith's journey as the founder of the Mormon Church began with a series of profound religious experiences. According to his accounts, he was visited by angels and directed to a hidden collection of golden plates in a hillside near Manchester, New York. These experiences and revelations were pivotal in shaping the course of his life and the formation of a new religious movement. In 1830, Joseph Smith published the Book of Mormon, a work he claimed to be a translation of the enigmatic golden plates into English. This publication marked the beginning of the Mormon Church, attracting a growing number of devoted followers. Smith's teachings and the establishment of the church led to the formation of communities in states like Missouri and Ohio, where adherents congregated to practice their faith and spread the teachings of the Book of Mormon. The church's early years were characterized by both rapid growth and significant challenges as it sought to establish itself in the religious landscape of the United States. The early history of the Mormon Church is marked by a series of relocations due to conflicts with local communities. This pattern of displacement continued until they settled in Nauvoo, Illinois. Here, under Joseph Smith's leadership, the church expanded its influence, but this growth came with increasing opposition. Critics raised concerns about what they perceived as the church's cult-like characteristics and its controversial practice of polygamy. The tension between the Mormons and the surrounding communities escalated, fueled by distrust and cultural differences. The situation in Nauvoo became increasingly volatile as Smith's practices and teachings were met with growing skepticism and hostility from those outside the church. This period in the church's history was a critical one, setting the stage for significant changes and challenges that would. The tension in Nauvoo reached its climax in 1844 when local authorities targeted a newspaper that had criticized Joseph Smith. This action sparked riots and widespread unrest, culminating in a tragic and violent episode where an angry mob assassinated Smith. His death marked a turning point for the Mormon Church. Brigham Young, one of Smith's closest associates, stepped into the leadership vacuum, taking on the mantle of guiding the church. Recognizing the untenable situation in Illinois, Young led the Mormons in a mass exodus, embarking on a quest to find a new home where they could practice their faith without fear of persecution or violence. This journey led Brigham Young and the Mormon pioneers to the shores of the Great Salt Lake, 3 years after Smith's death. According to lore, Young had envisioned this very landscape in a dream and immediately recognized it as the destined location for the new Mormon settlement. This moment is often romanticized in Mormon history as a prophetic vision, marking the beginning of a significant chapter in the church's story. The establishment of Salt Lake City was more than just the founding of a new home. It symbolized the resilience of the Mormon community and their determination to create a society where their beliefs and practices could flourish. Shortly after arriving at the Great Salt Lake, Brigham Young selected the site for a monumental temple complex. Construction began on February 14, 1853, a project that would become a central symbol of the Mormon faith. However, the path to completing the temple was fraught with challenges, including conflicts with the United States government. These disputes culminated in the Utah War, a period of armed confrontation between Mormon settlers and the national authorities. Despite the turmoil, the Mormons remained steadfast in their commitment to building the temple, a testament to their dedication to their faith and community. After more than a year of conflict, Brigham Young faced a reduction in his political power, but the construction of the Salt Lake Temple resumed with renewed vigor. Finally, on April 6, 1892, the temple's capstone was ready to be placed atop the impressive 220-foot Gothic structure. The event was a momentous occasion, celebrated by tens of thousands who gathered to witness the culmination of nearly 40 years of effort. The completion of the Salt Lake Temple was not just a construction milestone, it was a symbol of the perseverance and unity of the Mormon community, a testament to their enduring faith amid adversity. The capstone, weighing nearly 4,000 pounds, was an engineering marvel in its own right. Yet, unbeknownst to many at the time, it held within it a hidden significance that would only come to light nearly 130 years later. The revelation of its contents would provide a unique connection to that historic day, bridging the gap between generations and offering a tangible link to the past. The capstone was more than just a structural element, it was a repository of history, quietly holding secrets that would one day shed light on the rich tapestry of the church's heritage. In 1892, as the capstone was hoisted to the summit of the Salt Lake Temple, it sealed away its hidden treasures. Perched atop this significant stone was a golden statue representing the angel Moroni, an iconic figure in Mormon scripture. Standing over 12 feet tall, the statue was a powerful symbol of the church's teachings and beliefs. The angel Moroni is revered in Mormonism as the heavenly messenger who guided Joseph Smith to the golden plates, which would become the foundation of the Book of Mormon. This statue, overseeing the temple from its highest point, served as a guardian of sorts, watching over the sacred space and the community that gathered there. The angel Moroni holds a special place in Mormon theology, often depicted with a trumpet, heralding the restoration of the gospel. Statues of Moroni adorn many Mormon temples worldwide, each one a reminder of the church's origins and its connection to divine revelation. However, the statue atop Salt Lake Temple has experienced a journey unlike any other. Its removal and subsequent inspection during the temple's renovation brought to light the hidden artifacts within the capstone, adding another chapter to its already eventful existence. The statue's journey reflects the dynamic history of the Mormon Church, a history marked by movement, conflict, and ultimately, resilience and growth. On March 18, 2020, Salt Lake City experienced a significant seismic event as an earthquake measuring 5.7 on the Richter scale struck the region. The epicenter, located about 15 miles west of the city, unleashed a force that rippled across the state capital, causing power outages and leaving residents feeling the tremors in their homes. Amidst this natural upheaval, Temple Square, a central and revered location in the city, witnessed a poignant moment. The Angel Moroni statue, a symbolic guardian atop the Salt Lake Temple, was directly impacted by the quake. The incident was not just a physical jolt, but also served as a stark reminder of the temple's vulnerability to natural forces and the importance of preserving such historical and spiritual landmarks. As the earth shook beneath the city, a dramatic scene unfolded atop Temple Square. The trumpet, an integral part of the Angel Moroni statue, was dislodged from the angel's grasp, plummeting more than 200 feet. The potential danger to pedestrians below was significant, but fortunately, the trumpet found its resting place on a ledge of the temple itself. This stroke of luck was further underscored by the fact that the streets below, usually bustling with visitors and worshippers, were empty due to the ongoing restoration work and closures. The deserted surroundings inadvertently provided a safety net, preventing what could have been a hazardous situation. The area around the temple had been closed off since December 2019 as part of a comprehensive restoration program. Among the planned enhancements were the installation of earthquake stabilization features designed to fortify the temple against such seismic events. This forward-thinking approach was aimed at preserving the temple's structural integrity, ensuring its survival and continued significance for decades to come. The earthquake, occurring amid these renovations, highlighted the timeliness and necessity of these upgrades, bringing into sharp focus the need to safeguard historical structures against natural disasters. For 2 months following the earthquake, the Angel Moroni statue, now missing its iconic trumpet, stood atop the Salt Lake Temple, a poignant symbol of resilience amidst ongoing renovations. Then, on May 18, 2020, a crane carefully removed the angel and the capstone below it, marking a significant moment in the temple's history. Unlike the grand occasion in 1892, when the statue was first placed atop the temple amidst great fanfare, this removal was a much more subdued affair, reflective of the quieter, more introspective time the world was experiencing. In stark contrast to the original installation, which drew a crowd of 40,000 spectators, fewer than 40 people were present to witness the removal of the capstone and the statue in 2020. Emily Utt from the Mormon Church's History Department commented on the difference, noting the irony with a touch of humor. The contrast between the two events, over a century apart, underscored the changing nature of public gatherings and the evolution of the Church's approach to such significant moments. Emily Utt reflected on the humble and low-key manner in which the capstone was opened in 2020, contrasting it with the grandiosity of the 1892 ceremony. Our opening of the capstone has been a few people on a loading dock with very small chisels, she said, highlighting the stark difference in scale and spectacle between the two events. Despite the absence of the earlier pomp and circumstance, the team was on the cusp of an incredible discovery, one that would connect the present-day church with its historical roots. The contents of the Salt Lake Temple's capstone, sealed for over a century, have long intrigued both members of the Mormon Church and historians alike. Reports from the time of the temple's completion suggest that various artifacts were intentionally placed inside the capstone during its installation ceremony. These artifacts, left by those present at this historic event, were intended as a legacy for future generations, a time capsule, capturing the essence of that period. The anticipation surrounding the opening of the capstone was not just about discovering the physical items, but also about uncovering the stories and sentiments of the people who had contributed to this significant chapter in the church's history. Despite the excitement, there was a realistic expectation that time and exposure to the elements might have compromised the condition of the items within the capstone. Russell M. Nelson, the president of the Mormon Church, noted, "We did not expect to find much, acknowledging the likelihood that the contents might not have been preserved over the 128 years. This tempered expectation was based on the understanding that the artifacts had not been insulated against weather and other environmental factors since their sealing in the 19th century. Despite these concerns, church officials and historians were eager to explore the capstone's contents. Nelson expressed a sentiment of reverence and tribute, emphasizing the desire to honor the legacy of the temple's founders and craftsmen. The curiosity to delve into the capstone was not just about uncovering historical artifacts, but also about connecting with the pioneers' spirit and acknowledging their dedication and sacrifice. When the capstone was finally opened and its secrets began to emerge, the onlookers were met with a pleasant surprise as they discovered that some items had indeed withstood the test of time. Within the capstone, conservators found 4 distinct compartments, each corresponding to the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. This discovery suggested a thoughtful and deliberate effort to organize and preserve the artifacts. As the compartments were opened, a mix of well-preserved and weathered items came to light. This variance in the condition of the artifacts reflected the challenges of long-term preservation and the unpredictability of how different materials withstand prolonged exposure to the elements. One of the most notable items to emerge in good condition was a copper plate, meticulously etched with names. This plate served as a historical record, listing the individuals who participated in the groundbreaking ceremony of the temple in 1853, as well as those present at the capstone's placement in 1892. The preservation of the copper plate offered a direct link to the temple's origins, providing names and thereby personalizing the history of those who laid the foundation of this significant structure. Historical reports indicate that the placement of artifacts in the capstone was not entirely pre-planned. An 1892 article from the Salt Lake Herald-Republican described a spontaneous decision by onlookers to contribute to the time capsule. As the capstone lay open and ready to be sealed, someone suggested adding a dime, leading to a flurry of contributions from those present. This impromptu addition of coins and other small items added a communal and participatory aspect to the time capsule, reflecting the collective spirit of the occasion. During the capstone's opening, the excitement grew as attendees observed the retrieval of these spontaneously contributed items. According to the Salt Lake Herald-Republican, the atmosphere was charged with a sense of shared purpose as people eagerly added their coins to the capstone. The article described how the act of placing coins became a communal gesture, with everyone present eager to be part of this historic moment. The coins, now extracted from the capstone over a century later, serve as tangible reminders of this collective enthusiasm and the sense of unity among those who witnessed the temple's completion. The discovery of approximately 400 coins within the capstone, including dimes, nickels, quarters, and pennies, is a testament to the diversity and spontaneity of the contributions made in 1892. These coins, hailing from various years and denominations, offer a unique glimpse into the economic and social context of the time. The preservation of these coins over the decades provides a fascinating window into the past, allowing contemporary observers to connect with the individuals who witnessed the temple's historic moment. Each coin, with its distinct markings and wear, tells a story of its journey and the hands it passed through before becoming part of this extraordinary time capsule. The moment captured in 1892, as the Salt Lake Temple capstone was about to be sealed, reflects a spontaneous and communal spirit. The capstone, then in 2 halves, became the focus of a unique event, as described in a Salt Lake Herald-Republican article. Someone in the crowd suggested placing a dime within the capstone, sparking a wave of enthusiasm among those present. This simple act of adding a dime quickly escalated as more people joined in, eagerly contributing their own coins. The atmosphere must have been charged with a sense of unity and participation, as each person on the platform extended their dimes, nickels, or quarters. This impromptu collection not only represented a physical contribution to the temple, but also symbolized the shared commitment and collective effort of the community in building this sacred monument. These spontaneous offerings from the crowd, a blend of different coins, were subsequently sealed within the capstone, resting alongside other pre-planned artifacts. Fast forward 128 years, and the opening of the capstone has revealed the survival of these tokens of faith and community. Experts estimate that approximately 400 coins were extracted, a significant number that underscores In addition to these spontaneously contributed coins, the capstone held more deliberately prepared items. Conservators discovered engraved coins among the collection, as Emmeline Twitchell from the church newsroom highlighted. Some of these coins had been professionally engraved with names, while others bore names etched in a more amateur manner. This fascinating detail adds a personal touch to the time capsule, revealing the desire of individuals to leave a lasting mark, a personal signature within this historic monument. These engraved coins represent a blend of professional craftsmanship and personal expression, each telling a unique story of the individual behind the engraving. While the coins and the copper plate emerged in relatively good condition, other artifacts within the capstone suffered a less fortunate fate. The capstone's east cavity contained several books, including a Holy Bible and a collection of letters outlining Mormon beliefs. These texts, integral to the religious and historical narrative of the Mormon Church, were expected to provide a rich insight into the Church's doctrine and its evolution. The inclusion of these books and letters in the capstone was a clear attempt to preserve the foundational texts of Mormonism for future generations. In the capstone's southern section, additional historic Mormon texts were found, including seminal works like the Book of Mormon and Voice of Warning. These texts, crucial to understanding the theological and historical context of the Church, included writings from key 19th century figures in Mormonism. With a total of a dozen books discovered, though 5 remain unidentified, the capstone offered a potentially rich literary treasure. However, the condition of these books was a significant concern, as they held the potential to provide invaluable insights into the Mormon faith and its early teachings. Unfortunately, the books had absorbed considerable water damage over the decades, a result of the capstone's exposure to the elements. As Twitchell explained, the concrete's natural properties caused it to sweat, leach, and heat up during curing, turning the books into sponges that absorbed the moisture. This unfortunate circumstance highlights the challenges of preserving materials over long periods, especially within structures not designed for archival preservation. The degradation of these books serves as a reminder of the impermanence of physical materials and the importance of conservation efforts. The condition of the books raised questions about the artifacts in the western cavity, especially in light of speculation that it might contain photographs of historical significance. Elder Legrand R. Curtis Jr. expressed particular interest in this section, as it was rumored to contain a rare photograph of Joseph Smith. The discovery of such an image would have been groundbreaking, given the absence of known photographs of the Mormon Church's founder. The possibility of uncovering a visual representation of Smith was a tantalizing prospect, one that could have added a new dimension to the understanding of this pivotal figure in Mormon history. The 1892 report from the Salt Lake Herald-Republican added to the intrigue, suggesting the inclusion of a photograph of Joseph Smith in the time capsule. If true, this would have been a monumental find, providing a tangible link to the Church's founder. Curtis Jr.'s comment about the lack of known photographs of Smith underscored the potential significance of such a discovery. The presence of Smith's image in the capstone would have been a historical revelation, offering a visual connection to the early days of Mormonism and its charismatic leader. Unfortunately, like the books, the photographs in the capstone were also damaged, leaving their contents unrecoverable. This outcome was a significant disappointment, as it meant the potential loss of a unique visual record, including the speculated photograph of Joseph Smith. The damage to these photographs highlights the fragility of such materials and the challenges of preserving them over long periods, especially in conditions not suited for archival storage. The idea that a rare image of Smith might have been among these damaged photographs adds a layer of historical what-if to the capstone's contents. Despite the mixed condition of the artifacts, there is hope and anticipation for their future display. The ongoing renovation of the Salt Lake Temple, with a completion date projected for 2024, presents an opportunity to showcase these historical items. The decision to include a new set of artifacts in the temple, reflecting contemporary times, or to conclude the tradition of the time capsule, remains a point of contemplation. The future handling of the capstone and its role as a historical repository will be a matter of interest, as it could continue to serve as a link between past, present, and future generations of the Mormon Church. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.